about that? Oh, I heard that you little baby. Alright, how about that? Hello, darkness, my hello.
Left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, beneath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. The sound of silence. The sound of silence. The sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared. No one dared disturb the sound of. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. The sound of silence. The sound of silence. The sound of silence. And the sign said the words of the prophets are written on the subway. Whoa!
Testing my voice one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2. Testing my voice one more time. 1, 2, 1. I guess that's something to say. What is it, lady? I'm sorry. Right. Let's get doing it. I'm gonna move the camera over here actually, so that we can collect all the ingredients first. Okay, so you need 1 1/3 cup granulated sugar. There's a myth that I want to dispel. And that myth is that you should always do wet ingredients in a wet measuring cup and always do dry ingredients in a dry measuring cup. And I want to dispel that myth. It's a dumb myth. You can totally do either and both. They measure the exact same volume. I tested it on my own, so I know it's true. And in this case, I want 1 1/3, and instead of doing that with a couple of these, I'm going to do it with one of these. As long as you can get it level, it is perfectly okay. Anybody who says otherwise is trying to sell you something. The added benefit of this one is that you can't spill over the side. You can't just dip in and get the exact amount, but again, I don't want to dirty multiples. Okay. That is 1 1/3, even though it's in a wet measuring cup. Alright, there's that. 1/2 cup of light corn syrup. I'm going to use this plunger type one. I use this whenever I have anything that's sticky because it's very easy to pop out. I don't have to spend forever trying to scoop it out with a spoon. I'm still going to use a spoon, but it won't take as long. So, light corn syrup, 1/2 cup. Almost there. Okay, 6 tablespoons water. I like this little guy because I can measure up to 8 tablespoons. It's very convenient. There we are. Okay. 1/8 teaspoon cream of tartar. And reading the directions real quick, it says sugar, corn syrup, water, cream of tartar, and vinegar all together. So I can just measure it directly into one of these that I already have. I don't have to have a tiny little thing. And it says I'm going to do 1/8 teaspoon. So most measuring sets don't come with 1/8 of a teaspoon, so you've got to kind of eyeball it with a 1/4 teaspoon, which is half of it. Cream of tartar is a classic acid. So in this case, what it's doing is it's going to add some acid, and then later we're going to add some baking soda. And anybody who's ever done a high school volcano experiment knows exactly what happens when you add acid and baking soda. What game is this? I love the name, What's Today's Menu? This is the game of life, and I hope that you all win. Okay. A teaspoon apple cider vinegar. Again, this all goes in together, so I can just put it in with any of these. You think I put it in with the water, but that would make it dirty. Right now it's just water, it's easy to clean, so I'm going to put it in with one of the other ones. And I'm supposed to do 1 teaspoon of that. So who are you? What's today's menu? What's your story? Small-time girl living in the living world? Alright. And then 1 1/2 teaspoons baking soda. Now this one I do have to add at a separate time, so I'm going to put it in a little dish for later. 1 1/2 teaspoons, also known as 1/2 tablespoon. So if you have a measuring cup that's a measuring spoon that says 1/2 tablespoon, that's the same thing. What did I put? there that is. All right, and that's all the ingredients until we get to the chocolate part. We got it all out, and that's very important with this recipe because the key to actually doing well with this recipe is speed. Okay, if whatever you're doing is off by a little bit of time, then you could ruin the texture. The flavor will still be good. It'll still be, you know, caramely, toffee-like, but it might be a little tougher than you want, stuff like that. So we're gonna be ready now. All right, let's move on to the instructions over at the stove. So we're going to line a baking pan with foil and lightly grease the foil. For this one, we're going to use a very neutral oil so that it does not taste like oil. It's just going to be there to make sure that whatever we do with the sugar doesn't stick. If you would like to follow along either now or at a later time, go ahead and check out the recipe. You can hit !menu in chat to see it. You can also, if you're watching this video later, there should be a something in the description with a link to the recipe. Okay, just a little bit will do it. And I skipped this step once, and it was annoying because I had foil stuck to my candy. So don't skip this step. Okay. I'm gonna just use my hands because my hands are clean, and it's an easier way to spread it off. You actually don't need to go all the way to the edges because you're going to pour in the middle and it's actually going to flow slowly like lava, so it's not going to reach the edge. This is not like going to be water at that point. Alright, set that aside. Wash my hands. How does the sound level, y'all? I did a test beforehand, but can you hear me alright? Now, the original recipe said fill a sink, but I am going to do it with a large pot of water, mostly because then I don't have to run across my kitchen with a very hot thing and potentially trip and ruin my day. Oh darn, I forgot to start the timer. Well, we'll add a couple minutes for collecting your ingredients and all that, and I'll make a note of it in the video. So, we want 2 inches of cold water. Now, since we're not doing a sink of cold water, I'm going to use a pot of cold water. And since the smaller pot that fits inside of it doesn't go all the way to the bottom, I'm going to do 2 inches up here. So I'm going to put this in here and test to see if I'm 2 inches up. So. Hi, Fade Went and Low-Key Neck. Good to see ya. Say hello in chat. I'd love to know how you guys found me. I think I had my first random viewer yesterday of someone who just came into the stream who doesn't know me. A lot of people who are watching me so far are, you know, mother, brother-in-law, that sort of thing. All right. There's our water. And you want to keep this nearby because, like I said, speed is very important for this recipe. It's going to come together very quickly, and like a lot of candy, it's going to be based off of temperature. And it once it reaches the temperature, that's where you want to stop it. You do not want it to go above that temperature because then you get a different product. And like I said, not necessarily a bad product, just not exactly what you want. All right, there that goes. Next, we're going to go ahead and make sure that the baking soda is nearby. Okay. And a whisk. There's my whisk, my baking soda. There's that. This is secondary. This is first. All right. Bring out all my ingredients over. All right. I'm gonna add the water first. That way, there's not any dry sugar at the bottom getting burnt. And I'm gonna add the Karo second. And then add the sugar and cream of tartar and apple cider vinegar. This is actually the third recipe that I've tried with this, and I haven't tried this particular one. But if it fails, then at the end, I'll tell you which of the other ones I enjoy the most. All right, ready to rock. Now, we're going to stir this. You do not actually need to stir it after you go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the whisk and then go wash the whisk. So start the heat, medium heat. And with any type of sugar-based candy, you're going to want to get it to whatever temperature the recipe calls for. So you need some kind of thermometer. You can't really do it based off of time. You might be able to do it based off of just looking if you're some kind of genius who's done this every day for 10 years, but you usually want to try using a thermometer. I've got an electric one, and it will beep at me when we're close, so I'm going to do that. Once this is mixed, you actually don't need to sorry about that. Once this is mixed, you don't need to worry about stirring it as it goes. This is not one where the crystal structure at the end really matters. Some things really, it's always like you must stir it or you must not stir it. This one doesn't really matter, so I'm happy to be in that situation. Now, I'm going to set the thermometer in there, and I'm going to set the warning time for the thermometer. The temperature we're aiming for is 300, so I'm going to set a warning for, let's say, 280. That way I am paying good attention when it goes off. Now the thermometer is technically sitting on the bottom, so this should be a conservative timer. Once it goes off, I'll know that the bulk of the sugar still has a little more time, and I won't burn the bulk of it. So just make sure that your temperature is medium, because you don't want a very hot sugar on the bottom and not as hot sugar on the top. We want a little bit of a slower type situation. So that's really it. That's most of the work done. Let's read ahead to make sure we're ready, because like I said, it goes fast. Okay, we whisk together all of that. Candy thermometer, medium heat, no real need to stir. Awesome. Keep boiling sugar to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. We got a warning at 280. When the mixture comes, oh, darn, I let the music stop. How dare I? How about that? There we go. All right, now that's going. I'm going to do something where it's okay. It's at 1:30 now. So I'm going to sharpen the knives, because I can always stop sharpening the knives and go back to that. The timer on screen has about 2 minutes missing from it, because at the beginning I forgot to start it, but that's about 8 minutes of active time, and you're going to have a really neat treat at the end of it, so it's pretty cool. Alright, let's sharpen a knife. I'm going to do it on top of the cutting board, just so that I can do it in front of the camera. You can do this next to the sink. It's probably the most effective place to do it. Alright, on top of the cutting board. Actually, I don't need the cutting board. I'm going to use a towel instead. So, I've got a no-slip mat, just like you would line a drawer with, and just any old white towel. is to wipe it off, and I can always throw this in the laundry later. Okay, now what we're going to do, take whatever knife you're going to do, and this isn't for the candy, this is for the actual dinner. If you've never sharpened your knife, it makes a huge difference. It'll be the difference between hating cooking and really loving cooking. Also, a dull knife is more dangerous in the kitchen in case you're like really muscling to get through whatever you're chopping and you end up slipping and cutting something more supposed to cut, which is pretty much the problem with doing that. Okay, so there we have the ability to do that. I have a cutting stone. They all share different features. They'll tell you what grit they are. Some of them will be wet stones where you need to get them wet. Some of them use water, some of them use oil. Mine is water. Just whenever you get whatever stone you use, figure out if it's water or oil to lubricate it. And this one does not need to be soaked. Some of them do. So I bought one that's convenient as we just get started. If you need one that, if you have one that needs to be soaked, then make sure you do that. But here we go. This little block with the different slits cut into it is a flattener. It's to flatten the stone to make sure that you're ready to sharpen your knife. I do this at the end, so I don't have to do it right now. I already did it last time, but I'll show you that at the end. Alright, all I have to do is get a little bit of water. Start on the lower grit. So if I hold it this way, it says 1,000. If I hold it this way, it says 6,000. So I'm going to put it on the 1,000 side. Put a little bit of water on it. Doesn't need to be soaking, so I'm just going to wipe most of it off. Alright. Now, when you sharpen a knife, the amount of weight you put on it really matters. So I'm going to get my scale, and I'm going to put the knife on there with the handle kind of hanging off the side, and I'm going to press down until my scale says 5 pounds. There, 5 pounds. So I've got a feel for how much 5 pounds feels like. That's what you're going to do on the sharpening stone. That's also what you do for a when you're honing the knife, and I'll show you that afterwards. So, to sharpen, it's very simple. All you have to do, one hand on the whatever this is called, one hand on the handle. The other hand is just going to guide it, and you can go forward onto it that way or this way. It doesn't matter. The key is that as you go, you're going from one end of the blade sharpening to the tip, or from the tip to the heel. Either way is fine. The angle depends on your blade. Most of them are going to be about the angle of a matchbook. So if you can imagine a matchbook sitting down, that's the angle you're going to go for. Some of the other ones are a little taller or a little narrower, but you'll know if you bought one that's different than that matchbook one. The person selling it to you is going to be like, oh, this is a fancy one, it's a very thin angle. So you'll know. Most of you guys are going to use matchbook. There we go. Matchbook angle, start from one end, pressing down with that 5 pounds of force, and I'm just going to do about 10 passes. 4, 5, 10. If you look, it's dirty. That means it's doing its job. Alright, I'm going to wipe that off because all that dirt is little bits of metal. Little bits of metal can kind of get in the way of the process because it's like you wouldn't polish your car windshield with sand. Basically what I would try to do. Okay, so I did it that way. I'm going to do it this way for 10 strokes. You know what? Darn, I meant to test the cut before we started, and I don't even have any spare paper. I'm gonna grab the mail from today. 1 second. Alright, I did not test the cut beforehand, so we can't see a giant change, but we can see where it's at after just those first 10 strokes and see what it's like at the end. Dry it off because you don't want to catch any for that. Okay. Pretty good. Let me show you a different knife. Okay, obviously not good. I'm going to sharpen this one to show you how well it works. Take off the dirt. I do not want to polish my windshield with sand. Alright, there we go. If it feels like it catches, that means you went at too high of an angle. So I just did that. That's also why you flatten your stone afterwards. Okay, that's not a full cutting, a full sharpening regimen. I'm just trying to show you. I did hold it over once before. Much better. Just after that, we'll do that. Okay, so obviously I would keep working on this one if this was the knife I was going to cook with today, but it's not. I'm going to keep working on the one that I care about. But that's just to show you how it'll improve a knife. Okay, I did 10 strokes on this, both sides. I'm going to do just a couple more. I also like to do the tip. I just do a circular motion. Just because sometimes when you're doing that stroke, the tip kind of gets at the end and it doesn't get all the love it deserves. So I give the tip a little love. Alright, there we go. Done with the 1000 side. Flip it over to the minus 6000. And this view. 3, 4. Again, if you do this next to the sink, it's a little easier. I'm doing this for you guys for show. I think I just did that side actually. Alright. Again, I'm going to do the tip just a little bit more. Alright. And that's it. I have a sharpened knife. You're going to want to wash it before you use it, but let me show you how it is now. Should be good from the heel all the way to the tip. Very good. I don't remember if a single layer is harder or easier, so let me test the single layer. Can't do it in that direction because the grain goes that way. Okay. Now, layer 4. Yeah, I don't know which one is easier or harder, but there you go. Alright. And the second one. That is sharpening your knife. Now, you've seen chefs do this whole thing, go something like this. This is honing your knife. Honing your knife is what you do in between sharpenings. You only need to do sharpenings like once or twice a year for most chefs. If you cook every day, probably a little more frequently than that, maybe once every 2 months. We end up doing it probably 3 or 4 times a year. But more frequently, you can hone your knife. And what this does is it just makes sure that the sharp part is actually sticking straight out, okay? In between, it's going to be folded over, so you still don't need to sharpen it. It's sharp, it's just pointing in the wrong direction. This gets it back straight and true. You're going to do the same angle you did before, just like a matchbook. Same thing going from heel all the way to tip, same 5 pounds of pressure. So it's basically the same thing you were doing there, but on one of these. And the steel ones work just fine. This one came with my knife, so that's what I use. The amount of force you put actually matters, so definitely get one of those scales and test to make sure you're good. Let me see if I can hone a smaller knife, see if you can see the benefits. So here we've got double layer. Wow. Definitely not sharp. Or is it? Maybe it's sharp and just needs honing. Let's see. There's the fold. It's marginally better. Okay. It's cutting a little better, but I probably should sharpen this one. Check on this. It says it's at 230, so I think I have enough time to sharpen another one. My wife is going to be very happy. Hi Biggs, good to see ya. Sharpening knives, only for cooking purposes. Do not get any fancy ideas. Also, hi. Oh, those are the people I said that hi hello to before. Come on in the chat, take a look. I've been enjoying a game, Heroes of the Storm. If you guys haven't tried it, it's similar to League of Legends, but it's by Blizzard. So it's got like Diablo and some StarCraft characters and some World of Warcraft characters like Rhaegar and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. I already did that way, so now this way. Oh darn. Start on the rougher side. Hi Eloise! It's an hour before your dinner time. Whenever I cook, she thinks it's dinner time. So on a normal weekday, it's not this early. Hi Eloise! Yeah, you're very sweet. Hi love. Again, this is easier to do in the sink, or next to the sink, but I'm doing this the hard way for you guys. Alright, there we go. Now I'll do the other edge. See how we're doing so far. Oh man, much better. Okay. With that, we're done. Now, at the end, you always want to take that flattening stone. You want more water for this than you do for the knife. And then we're going to run it so that those kind of go at an angle on it. So don't go along those lines. Go like that. This is going to make our tool completely flat the next time, so that if we just accidentally nicked it, those nicks aren't going to ruin our sharpening next time. Alright. Other side. Why did I? Oh my god. I believe I had the wrong one going. All that time. I'm sorry, y'all. All metal dude. Alright, there we go. Now, wash this out, and we're done. Almost time for the candy, I think. Mine comes with a little rubber, like eraser type thing to help clean it at the end. But you can just easily clean it without this thing. Set that away to dry. All right, let's go ahead and check on our thingy dingy. It says 240. Whenever you're making candy, the temperature directly relates to the amount of water in there. Because water cannot get over the temperature of 212 degrees. But if it's water with sugar, it can get over that temperature. And it matters the ratio. So like if it's 1 part water to 5 parts sugar, then it can get to a certain temperature. If it's 1 part water to 10 parts sugar, it can get to a higher temperature. So we're basically concentrating down the sugar, and the thermometer is telling us how close we are to our final. It's at 240 right now, and it needs to go to 300. And on the recipe, it says it right there. All right. We're going to need to do that part quickly, so that's why I've got everything ready. I'm going to check it with another thermometer just to check my work. The one in there says 240. This one says 223, so I think we're about in the right zone. I have a third one too. I'm going to test it when we get closer, just to be as cautious as possible. Alright, now while that goes, I think it's time for a cocktail. I also have this recipe in linked up, so make sure you click that link if you want to have this recipe as well. And it is the dark and stormy. Alright, all you need is dark rum, lime juice, and ginger syrup. And I'll talk about that in just a little bit. Just add the water and I can clean it. This I do not need anymore. Or this, or this. I'll go ahead and just tighten that a little bit. We're at 250 over there, so we're getting kind of close. Alright, dark and stormy. We need rum, lime juice, ginger syrup, and a club soda. Excuse me, onions. They're in the way of the refrigerator. Wash off all those metal shavings. Dry my neck. We're at 252 over there. Getting there. Recipe says I need 3/4 ounce of lime juice. I'm going to do that one before I do the rum. That way I know how much I actually have. And I can always make the recipe a little stronger, a little larger, a little smaller based on that. Okay. You can use a little device to squeeze. If I'm only using 1 or 2 limes, then I usually do it by hand. I hope your weekend's going well. That 1/2 of it is like, yeah, I'm gonna need both of these limes. These ones are particularly tough. I heard you can microwave them to make them a little juicier. Might do that if I don't think I might hit my 3/4 ounces. Okay, so here's the story. Those two make a 1/2 ounce. And I don't feel like starting the next line real quick. So I'm going to scale the recipe. The nice part about this recipe site I use is that I can scale it however I want, and I'm going to scale it so that it uses a 1/2 ounce of lime juice, because that's what I got. Great. All right. Now I need dark rum and ginger syrup. Let me go grab those. All right, so we're gonna have a great drink here. That's not the dark rum. That's the gin. That's the dark rum. All right. So it calls now for 1.33 ounces dark rum. I've got a shaker that has graduations up the side, so I don't actually need to know if this is in ounces or in tablespoons or in 50 milliliter, whatever. It's all about ratios, so I'll be fine. All right, and then I need ginger syrup. I've got this ginger syrup for a soda stream. It works well, but you have to kind of play with the ratios and find out how much to use. So I know how much to use from this one. Read the note on the recipe if you have a different ginger syrup choice. But for me, this calls for 2/3 of an ounce. I know that's about right for this syrup. About 1.5 teaspoons. Just 2/3 of an ounce. You can also, if you don't have ginger syrup, you can just use ginger beer. Do not use ginger ale. Ginger ale is not gingery enough, to put it in simple terms. So, there we go. I did not actually use this for this recipe. Try it. You're going to shake all this with just a tiny bit of ice, just to get it mixed. We're not really going for cold here, just mix. Ooh, we're getting real close on that sugar though. I feel like I'm going to shake this and then press the stop. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to fill this with ice so it can start getting cold. Alright, like I said, we're not shaking it to get it cold, just to mix it and start getting it cold, I guess. That was tough on there. You can double strain this, which means putting it through another strainer, but since nothing in here is solid, since we're not going to get many ice shards growing that quickly, I'm just going to strain it this way. Right. Now all you do at this point is top with club soda. And if you're doing ginger beer, top with ginger beer. That is a dark and stormy. Just in time too. Okay. Danger zone. Alright. We're gonna need something a little more energetic for this. Okay. Let's check if this is the right temperature. Is the video cutting in and out for you guys? It looks like there might be a little skipping on my end. Hope not. Okay. My thing now says 290. This says 260, but that's reading. This is reading the bottom. This is reading the top, so that might be the difference. Let me get a better reading. Tilt it so I get a better, thicker reading. My other thermometer is pretty good. Okay, this says we're above our temperature, so we need a rock. I need to whisk in this in here real quick. But I got the energetic music. Okay. Whisk super fast until it looks all dissolved. Then immediately pour it out. I think that's pretty much dissolved. And pour it out. That is honeycomb. Sweet and simple. Pull it out with this whisk. Now, cleanup can be a pain with melted sugar. It turns into glass, basically. And the way I like to clean it up is to fill with water, hot water if you can, and let it dissolve. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Transfer this whole thing just to the sink and forget about it till the end of the cooking day. Do not try and taste that while it's still liquid like this. You'll hurt yourself. And just do this. See if I can even out the thickness. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. Don't touch it. It's hot like lava. Okay. That'll be good. We'll revisit that later in the cooking day. That's gonna just chill out. Alright. Time for the main event. We're gonna do ultra crispy fried rice and some roasted broccoli with Asian zesty sauce. The fried rice actually goes very quickly. The broccoli takes a little bit longer, so what I'm gonna do, I'm going to just do all the fried rice together and then all the broccoli. The only difference is I'm going to chop the broccoli first. So let's chop what we need. We need these ingredients. This is what we'll need to chop basically. Let's do that. Ginger, garlic. Keep your ginger in the freezer. It makes it super easy to work with. Garlic. A teaspoon is about 1 clove this size. these. Oh, I can stop that timer thing now. Well, there we go. I left a couple minutes on the end. Alright, now this timer is going to be for our fried rice and broccoli together. Shouldn't take more than an hour. If it does, damn, what's done wrong? Alright. Gonna scrape the skin off of this. The easiest way to do that is just under running water. I don't need much today, so I'm not going to scrape off much skin. It's super quick. Just that short amount of time, and I've already got enough scraped off. Alright. That. Need scallions. Scallions are from the farmer's market, so they've got a lot of dirt on them. Gonna get out the other ingredients while I'm poking my head in it. And what I forgot to say is I am cutting this recipe in half. And this serves 4, and I am just 1. And I only need 1 set of leftovers. Let me do that. Hit the little scale button, and all the numbers in red have already been scaled. So that's good. The numbers that are not in red, for instance where it says about 4 large scallions, that has not been scaled. So I need to keep that in mind. I'm going to do about 2 large scallions. These are kind of combined, but that's basically 2. Alright, I'm going to rinse everything. This brush never touches anything except for produce, so I know it's good to scrub this up. It doesn't have any oil on it, left over from other recipes. Another fun factoid, maybe not so much fun. Broccoli, the Janus does not harm any living creatures. They're the ones who take a broom and they brush the ground in front of them to make sure that they do not step on any bugs. They do not eat broccoli because bugs love to live in broccoli, and it's really difficult to check in there to see if there's any bugs. I'm just going to use my eyes and be very careful. I don't break my religion if I actually bugs. If I never notice it, it's so tiny that I can't notice it, it doesn't really matter. This is from a grocery store, so every single other piece of broccoli you ever ate was treated the same way as it was. It's not like super rich broccoli. I like peeling the outside of the scallion green onion, peel the outside layer off after the dirt comes with it. Makes candy very simple. Hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm feeling like a little bit of dancing. Now, if you don't have scallions, you can use normal onions. it won't taste quite as it's not heavy, but it's bright like that. It's tart. It's not tart. Green onion just has something that onion doesn't have. So you're going to be missing out a little bit. I'm only cooking for 2 and use small amount of everything else. You really got to scrub the dirt. It really lives in the ground, and some of that dirt has sand. So even if you don't mind like a little dirt, you will mind if you chomp down like a grain of sand. I feel like it's too cold. Okay, so no more. Okay. Now that's everything washed. This recipe is your own mix of bite-sized vegetables. I'm using peas and carrots and red. You can also use peppers. There's an Asian pepper called shishito that's delicious. It's not hot at all and it's so good. Or mushrooms, that sort of thing. You can also do cooked meat in there, whatever type of meat you like. If it's shrimp, probably tweak the cooking times that I'm listing here because shrimp, overcooked shrimp is not awful. And then I'm going to put an egg on top. That's awesome. Okay, going back to this. How do we need this stuff done? We need minced ginger and minced garlic. You can mince it with a knife, or you can just grate it. Technically, mincing and grating are different, but for this dish, either will work. Okay, I need a half a tablespoon of minced ginger. You saying that again? This game is called Cooking Mama, only live action, and Mama has been replaced with Tasty White Dude. Do I have Szechuan sauce? I'm actually going to be making some sauce. Let me look up Szechuan sauce and see if I can't change one of my sauces into Szechuan. Although I don't think I have the right peppers. We need Szechuan peppercorns, so never mind. No Szechuan sauce, but I can try and make a Szechuan sauce later. That's a good idea. It's like the Berenstain Bears thing. I feel like I've had that Szechuan sauce, the Mulan one, but I'm not sure. I could just be making up history like the Berenstain Bears thing. Okay, that's good. Okay. Now, for the, oh man, that looks good. No, I know Rick and Morty. I know the whole Szechuan sauce thingy dingy. Okay. This is a Dark and Stormy. If you want the recipe, type in chat !! Menu. It's delicious. Alright. So, I'm going to go ahead and prepare this. Now for this one, you want some of the greens to, you want some of the green parts of this separate because it goes on at the very end. And it does taste different raw than it does cooked, so that's not just like a super fancy schmancy style thing, it's actually for flavor. Okay. Now, white parts and green parts. Fold it over like this, you might get some long parts. if you're cooking for a 5-star restaurant, your knife skills probably need to be, you know, laser accuracy. I'm not, so I know. It's really easy to do, to chop vegetables though. So you can buy the pre-cut stuff, but if you can learn how to chop the vegetables, you save a little bit more. Plus, it tastes fresher. I just think it's better. I'm not the fastest chopper by any means, so after just a little bit of practice, you can definitely be better than this. Still, we're 10 minutes into the recipe, and this is a pretty quick meal overall. The chopping takes up maybe 90% of the time. Okay. I do need to save a little bit of this green onion for the very end. Oops, sorry about that, that was loud. Okay, good. Now, see? We do the carrots. Where are you guys from? What's today's menu in Manny Bardo? I'm gonna cut these into what are called matchsticks, which they're way thicker than matches, so I don't know why they call it matchsticks. All I'm gonna do is cut them into, they should be called pencil sticks, because that's about how thick they are. You cut them that way, rotate it, cut them that way, so that they end up like that, and then you just cut them into bite-sized slices. You can totally shave your shave your carrots so that they are the skin is not on there. It's totally up to you. These are little matchsticks / pencil sticks. They're very short, so I guess they're golf pencils. Golf pencil sticks. Okay. I'm going to do the broccoli after I get this started because I want to get going. Alright. Now down here, none of this stuff is in red, which means it hasn't been updated. I'm doing a half recipe, so I'm going to have to be cognizant of that stuff in half. So here we go. Make sure your rice is dry and not clumped. This is great with leftover rice. That's exactly what this is. We went to a restaurant, we got the rice to go. So I didn't have to do any work for this. You can totally cook your own. I suggest doing it a day ahead if you're making fried rice. That way it has time to dry out. Rice that starts dry crisps up quicker. Alright, no clumps in here. Good. Alright. 10 to 12 inch skillet. Like I said, I'm cutting it in half, so 10 inch skillet. So the area of a 10 inch skillet would be pi times 5 squared equals pi times 25 equals 3.14 times 25, which is 78. Okay, now I'm cutting it in half, so I want 78 divided by 2, which is what, 39? Yeah, 39. I want 39 is the 39 divided by pi, and then square root of that. It's 3.46. So 3.46 is the radius in inches. Let's see if I got something like that, huh? said, you never do math at school. Alright, this is a little bit larger than that. I want 3.46. This total is a little over 7, so that's basically what we want. Lost the recipe because I was doing that. Alright. A tablespoon of butter. I want 1/2 tablespoon now. Then firm vegetables. Okay, my only firm vegetable is the carrots, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay. Some butter. I do butter and oil. The butter adds flavor, obviously. It also can it's also not quite as good at high heat stuff, so that's why I use oil as well. If you had clarified butter, that would probably work. I'm gonna make that a highlight because that's what we're working on now. Oh no! Did that one stop working? Okay, hold on a second, I gotta reset that one. Did it come unplugged? I bet my cat was playing hard. I bet that's the case. Just a minute. There we go. Aha. Glad I'm paying attention. Good stuff. Okay. Oil. You want to do this until it foams, which it is. You can see it foaming right there on your screen. Please believe me. I like a wooden spoon. This is my weapon of choice. Flat here so I can scrape. Oh yeah. Alright. Caramelize on one side about 3 minutes, so I'm not going to touch these because I would interrupt the caramelization. And I said medium heat, and this is more like medium high, so I'll turn that down slightly. Okay, let's get ready for the next step, why don't we? Ginger, melted in it. I have to have this, so a half a tablespoon of butter and stir in the rice. Press into a thin layer. Okay. Now let me make sure I got the right amount of rice. 3/4 cup. This is more than 3/4 cup over here, so I'm gonna get it ready. You can use a dry measure or a wet measure. As long as the wet measure is just harder to do, but I'm lazy and I don't want to make another dish, so I'm going to be lazy and use this. There's my 3/4 cup of rice. Okay, so next I'm going to add ginger, butter, rice. This recipe's so easy, y'all. I'll be eating in probably 10 minutes. Oh, that's right. I won't be eating because I need to do broccoli as well. It's time to do that. It's been 2 minutes, by the way. I'm keeping an eye on that time. Broccoli. Get ginger first. What comes next? Broccoli time. Broccoli. Cut the head off. trim this down to the core of the stalk. Okay, now for each of these, if they're not bite-sized, just cut them along their axis so that it has a little bit of core and a little bit of the little, what are those called? Little floret things. What on a normal thing would be a flower, but here the seeds in. So cut it into bite-sized pieces, and I'm going to get a bowl as the next required one. I'm switching recipes though. I'm going to broccoli one while the rice goes, and I just have like 30 seconds to check on those carrots. Hey, your sisters. Check a couple. Not quite done yet. I'll give it another minute. Alright. Putting the broccoli in the bowl. More to free them through the fork. Oh. Bite-sized piece. Most of these ones are little, already bite-sized. Check on those carrots. That's better. Alright. Ginger and rice. Here we go. Ginger. We'll let it get a little time in the oil. And the rice. Now here's the genius of this method. It's not the most traditional, but it is a bit easier. And I think the tastiest because it gets super crisp. I'm gonna mix that just once. Alright, then I'm gonna leave it alone. Again, you want medium meat, but I think I got a little too hot for that. Alright, then I'm going to leave it alone for 10 minutes. This is so that it can form a really nice crust. Think of it as this is like not touching the burgers for the first 5 minutes you put them on the grill. You know, you want to let it get a good crust. So that's the idea. That's what we're doing now. Alright, back to this other casserole. That goes. I set a timer for 3 minutes. We'll come back to it. This broccoli is magical. It is so easy, and I saw lots of recipes when researching this that required tons of ingredients. I'm not going tons of ingredients. I'm going super simple because I've done it before and I know it tastes good. Just making sure these are bite-sized. They're not bite-sized. Cut them along the stem so that you got kind of a flat thing. Alright. Rest of the stuff is a little too small to work with on compost it. Alright. Now, for the stalks. It's kind of, think of it like a tree. The bark on the outside is super thick, not very tasty. But if you've ever eaten the inside of the tree, and now you fail immediately. But basically, the inside is very nice, the outside is too thick. So cut the core, cut the outside to reveal the core, and then keep that. And then maybe if you're at band camp, you can do something else, I guess. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to cut this into matchsticks as well. I mentioned earlier in the stream, I don't think this is really looks anything like a match. It looks more like a pencil because it needs to be a little thicker than a match. So think of it as golf pencils. Right. You could throw this part away if you hate deliciousness. Might as well use it. You paid for it, right? So, cut this down. Put some. Now, we're going to dress this very simply, just extra virgin olive oil, salt, and pepper. Like I said, there's some recipes that go crazy. You know, have you mix in all sorts of stuff. You don't need to do all that. The act of roasting brings out delicious flavors. Might as well just do that. Ooh, time to move on with fried rice. Now for our fried rice, let's put the other stuff on top of it and stir it in. So I'm going to do that. Let me check actually if it's getting crispy. Not quite yet. I'm actually going to give it another minute. Now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to get it to be like the Spanish paella. If you've never had a Spanish paella, it's a rice dish, and you cook it, and the bottom gets super crunchy. It's like super fried rice. So that's what I'm going for here. I'm trying to get the bottom crunchy before I stir it up. Now you could just do normal fried rice where you get a screaming hot skillet and you stir constantly, and that's fine. I'm going to do it this way because I want some of the rice to still be soft and some of it to be crunchy. That's just what I want with this one. Okay, so this is, like I said, all of the soft vegetables go on top now. For me, that's just the peas and this green onion. Like I said, not all of the green onion, most of it. Save some of it for topping at the very end. So the soft vegetables go on top. They didn't need as long to cook, so I saved them for now. Okay, time to test that rice and see if it's crunchy. Just peek underneath it. Not yet golden. Maybe because it's hotter. I can tell it's sticking a little bit, but not yet. Give it time. Another minute. It's still going to be super quick. Okay. For this broccoli, toss with olive oil, salt, and pepper. For this much, about a tablespoon of olive oil, maybe a little more. Why not? With a little. Salt and pepper. Whenever you're doing salt and pepper, the recipe, which I have there, I am doing a half recipe. It calls for a teaspoon of salt and a half a teaspoon of pepper. If you know what that looks like, do it in your hand. If not, measure it out. And I figured out these numbers just to try on there. Very simple, not a whole lot of fancy spices and stuff going in this. We'll have a spicy dipping sauce, but nothing crazy for this. Yes, master. Check the rice. Yes. Ooh, so close. So a little more. I think my rice might have been a little wetter than it should have been. So that's why you just keep checking. You'll get it eventually. Alright. Best way to toss vegetables in olive oil, salt, and pepper is to use your hands. It's just easier. With a spoon, I might end up flinging some across the room. Hit somebody in the face, get in a fight. I don't want that. Alright. How you doing over here, Mr. Rice? Oh yeah, okay. So now the underside is golden. I'm going to stir it. I'll try and let you see some of that goldenness. Let me give you the focus. There you go. See that? That's the color change you were looking for. So give it one stir to incorporate all those soft veggies that were on top. Now, since I know my rice has been a little too, oh, sorry, with the soft veggies, you're also supposed to do the garlic. I should probably be reading the recipe that I wrote. Let me make sure that I'm not fooling myself again. Remaining ingredients, except the soy sauce and sesame oil and scallion. Yep, so that includes this. Garlic thyme, stir it in. Oh, that smells amazing, y'all. I love the smell of garlic in a stir fry or fried rice. You're also supposed to add a little more butter. We're adding more stuff. You want it to crisp up. So for me, that's a half a tablespoon of butter. For you, if you're going for a recipe, that's a full tablespoon. Imagine that. All right, now. Again, one even layer and leave it alone. Let it crisp up after you get into the even layer. A little bit got over here on my little spoon rest. Okay, there we go. All right, 3 minutes on the timer. Okay, this is ready. It needs to go in the oven. Since I oiled the veggies themselves, I do not need to oil them. Darn, I wish I had read the recipe because I would have remembered to preheat the oven. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in, and once it gets to temperature, then I'll start my timer. And I'll cut a few minutes off of it. What is it, little baby? Well, that's disappointing. I forgot to preheat the oven. It's because I'm doing 2 recipes at once. What is it, Eloise? Is it almost dinner time? Yeah, it's almost my cat's dinner time. Where is that? Okay. Thermometers. Very useful when you are working with an oven, because sometimes the thermometer on the oven itself will lie. I know from experience that my oven usually gets it off by about 20 degrees, so I'm going to increase it by about 20 degrees. Time for a sip of my drink. You can tell I like ginger, can't you? Right, done with the butter. Actually, no. I'm doing a fried egg on top. Okay. I'm just checking my other thing real quick. And if where's the chat? I wish this other one had chat. I can't see the chat on this other computer. I wish I could. Oh, almost time for this. Okay, now for this last one, you can leave it in. Oh my god, that's looking good. Okay, you can leave it in and let it cool slightly. I'm actually going to leave it for 1 more minute because I like it really crispy, but for most people it'll be done right now. I'm going to leave that in, and now I'm going to feed my cat. And she is so lovely and so needy. Want to feed? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, food time. Oops. When the timer goes off, I'm going to turn it off. Okay. Eloise, would you like some dinner? Yes, you would. Here you go. You get turkey today. You like turkey? Turkey so good. I know. You're so hungry. I know. All right, y'all. That's basically it. It's 37 minutes in. Everything is done besides the cleanup. So I guess I'll do a little bit of cleanup. If you have any questions, let me know. But I'm going to be working over here. I'm going to try and make this other computer show my chat so I can talk with you. Where's the chat? Well, I'll put you on my phone. So let me know if you have any questions. That's a super easy dinner in like 37 minutes of active time. Would have been less if I was paying attention and preheated the oven. Right. Get you on my phone real quick. So who's watching? Who's here? How you doing? Okay, I'm in the chat now. Okay, Z Uncle Z Fave went Motinek. Howdy. Didn't see ya. Alright, I'm in the chat. Watching you as it would be really nice actually if I finish cleaning before dinner. That way afterwards I can just play video games. Everybody loves video games. I'm gonna play either some Heroes of the Storm or some Overwatch. I'm probably not gonna stream it, sorry about that. I'm not particularly good at that. I am pretty good at cooking, so that's why I'm streaming that. You're gonna be good at cooking too. All you have to do is become a nerd. All you have to do is watch the Food Network, specifically Alton Brown, read a bunch of books, pay attention to America's Pet Kitchen, because they put the science in cooking. Same thing with SeriousNews.com. I really like that website. They're not 100% reliable. They're more like 98% reliable. They do some weird stuff sometimes that Serious Eats. I've made 2 things from them which kind of flopped and did not work. Most everything else really did work. So they still get my endorsement. there's nothing to see on the screen right now, so I'm going to put it back to at least a wider angle of my kitchen so you can see my butt, I guess. Now, earlier in the stream, I made a sugary candy that we're going to work on. Or it's already done, but we're going to coat it in chocolate a little bit later. So, stick around. So, we're going to do that. This is what I cooked it in, and the sugar has not yet all dissolved. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it halfway with water, put it on the stove, and let it dissolve. A little bit of heat will help to dissolve it a little bit. Get that sugar out of it. This was pure water. I just used it as a nice bath. So not too much scrubbing. Well, I hope your weekend's going well. I'm enjoying mine. Cooking is so nice. It's stupid cheap. It's a nice hobby that, you know, you're going to spend money eating anyways. So it's a hobby that doesn't cost much on its own. You're already going to eat, so you're already going to spend that money. It can save you money if you're not eating ramen. I mean, the alternative to eating what I'm eating is eating ramen, and that's cheap. Or McDonald's, which is also cheap. So if you're having those, you know, good on you. If you're not, this is probably going to save you some money. The difference between Chili's and this is tastier, this is cheaper, and unfortunately you have to do your own dishes, but it's worth it. I mean, dishes to me are kind of like meditation. It's just the time, relax, maybe enjoy some music if you remember to put on music, and just work it out. Work out any questions. So music, eh? Anything that can go in the dishwasher, put it in there. That's why you got one. I was about to say it's why you bought one, but most people don't buy a dishwasher to get it in their house. They're renting an apartment. So that's why you have a dishwasher. It's actually more efficient than cleaning things by hand. So maybe I can think that. I'm so glad that you guys joined me. Thank you for watching. This food is going to taste amazing. Let me know if you have made fried rice, and if so, what you thought. Just a good amount of soy sauce, too much here. Looking at soy sauce. I'll probably read the recipe. I'm supposed to add soy sauce at this point, once you're all done. You know what I can do at this point? I can make the dipping sauce for this. Asian dipping sauce. Super easy. Soy sauce, rice vinegar, chili oil, sesame oil, chili flakes, fine sugar, and mustard. The only thing refrigerated out of that is my soy sauce. This is dissolving nicely. Sugar, 1 second. Okay. I'm going to use this thing that I put away. Tablespoon soy sauce. Now, you can make more by all means. Save it. It'll save up to 2 weeks. So if you want to just make this 1 week and make the recipe twice, that'll save you some time. Half a tablespoon rice vinegar. The other nice thing about dipping sauce is that it usually is forgiving of estimation. The only thing that's not forgiving is this chili oil that's super spicy, so be very careful with that. Everything else is whatever. Okay. A teaspoon sesame oil. Eighth of a teaspoon chili flakes. It's like 2 or 3 shakes of that. Half a teaspoon fine sugar. 1/4 teaspoon mustard. This is also not very forgiving. You want to be very active. Whoop! Way too much. That can go. Actually, I guess I don't need the big one. See, this is just 2 servings worth, so I cut mine in half. That's going to make more than this. That would be for using our broccoli. Okay, now the oven's almost up to temperature. Oh, it did. I guess I missed that. So I'm going to check on the broccoli now. This is going well. I'm going to pour it out so all that sugar is bye-bye. There's a tiny bit more coming out of the stove. Come on. Sorry if that was loud, by the way. Get this out of the way. Broccoli's looking good. Flip it once. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. The bottom of the broccoli is getting brown. That's what you want. So, like, this is the ideal. That is what you want. It's not all there though. Some of them are getting there faster than the rest. I'm gonna give it a quick toss. Put it back in there and check it every 5 minutes because you do not want to overcook it. That's pretty much the only way this will be untasty and you overcook it. And as a number, it says I only got 425, which is exactly what I wanted it to be at. How about that? Still gonna continue tidying up. I'm just about ready to eat. That means my work is almost over, and the eating part is about to begin now. I do need the sesame and this to finish my fried rice with. Alright, all that sugar's gone. I'll finish cleaning it later, but goodbye sugar. And now, it's a little bit of this. This is what I did earlier in the stream. This is pine puffs. It's a homemade candy that tastes a little bit like Heat Bar. I'm going to put it in chocolate layer. Yeah, turned out well. Be much better coated in chocolate though, just like everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and top the fried rice. Actually, no. I'm going to stir it first. And the big reveal, oh yeah. Nice golden brown. In Spanish call it sufara. I don't know what it means besides delicious crunchy rice. You mix it in. You get some nice soft rice and some now, half of it today, half of it for tomorrow. We're eating healthy. Check this burner. Cool. Yes. Right there. And top of half reserved for the onions. Plus, raw already making taste different cooked. So it's nice to have half cooked and half raw like this. And just to the side of the plate. Oh, I could, but I'm going to go fried egg just to make it that much tastier. Fried egg time, y'all. I'm just doing one. There we go. All right, kind of medium-high heat. I do oil and butter in my fried egg. Now I'm done with that in the butter. Check on the waffle line. I can tell by looking at the top that it's not there yet, but give it a little toss. It's definitely on its way. A 425-degree oven does magical things to vegetables. Things that you simply cannot do steamed or boiled. So definitely try this method if you haven't already. Okay, fried egg. I like cracking my egg into a mug or a cup or something just so that I've got something to pour. And I can put this mug straight into the dishwasher. Notice how my cat doesn't bug me anymore? The love is just, you have the potential to feed me, so I love you. Once the feeding's over, who cares? Alright, a little oil. Time for the egg. I think it's a little hot, so I'm going to be careful with this up. Now I get it up, I get the oil and the butter up the side. That's because when I pour in my egg, I want to tilt it to the side and keep it kind of a small package. You can also actually strain the egg because there's two types of white. One type is waterier than the other. And if you strain it, you can get rid of the watery stuff. And then whatever stays in the strainer is the stuff that'll stay. All in one nice little beautiful fried egg. Okay, not going to take very long at all. I am going to do it over easy. That's just because it's the easiest way to guarantee you have no raw white. Alright, that's about it for that. I'm going to be delicate with my spoon. This is a nonstick skillet. I'm just going to do this, the lazy way. Just pull it and let it fall. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4, 5, 6. I think that's probably good. I'm going to flip it back so that the yolk is showing for the picture. There that is. Real close, y'all. I'm gonna be careful moving this handle. It was here. The oven is putting out exhaust, so this is really hot now. Get it out of the hot zone. put in a little bit of unmelted chocolate. What this is going to do is it's going to make sure that you get a tempered final product. So I'm going to reserve like that much, and that's a little like that much. Maybe 1/5, a little less than 1/5. Okay, everything else in the bowl. Okay, so like I said, the first time, 45 seconds. You will not burn it unless your microwave is somehow way stronger than mine. I'm going to use a rubber spatula. There are many like this one's mine. Nothing quite like nice, mostly Asian meal. And I can say it's the most authentic, but it is damn tasty. Okay, you can see it's starting to melt. If I tried to do it all the way without stirring, I would get some parts that were very burnt. No. Alright, 20 second intervals. Just stand here. It's on 20 seconds. Ooh. Basically done. Now, like I said, tempering is just a way of making sure that when it cools, it still looks pretty. If you just did it like this, when it cooled, you're getting that kind of cloudy stuff. It's called blooming. Not that pretty. But if you take it and you add in some unmelted chocolate, this is a way to get the temperature right, and it's a lot of solids need a lot of solids follow crystalline structures. Some solids follow multiple crystalline structures. So they'll be like form 1 crystal, form 2 crystal, form 3, that sort of thing. Chocolate is one of those solids that has different forms. The chocolate you buy from a store is all of the correct form. So when I stir in some unmelted, that gives it a nice little place for the rest of the crystals to form. Because crystals are just a grid, a repeating pattern, and it's like different ways of assembling Legos. If you already have the right type in there, when you mix it in, the rest will grow off of it and basically take on that same crystalline structure. You don't need to know all that science in order for it to work. It's going to work anyways. Alright, here we go. Actually, I guess you don't need to go over there anymore. Let's do this. Alright. Now, where do I set these so that they don't rip all over the place? Right back here. Too big. Think about it. There's oil on this, and oil isn't great for chocolate. And I am gonna get the best crispy one. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks okay to me. It's just, might have some weird oily residue on the tip of those residues. Parchment paper. Fill up some black paper. I should turn off that timer because it's no longer what we're working on. Those little heat bars, they're different. You'll never know how they taste unless you do it yourself. Or happen to go somewhere they sell it. It's called chocolate covered with honeycomb. And it is mother loving delicious. That oil needs to work. All removed. So that's sticking quite well. You can totally cook using chocolate if you want. It'll just take a little more time. You make a great gift too. You have a friend, you want to just show them you love them. Just like I have enough chocolate. It's always good. Alright, that's that. What do you do with the rest of this chocolate? It's entirely up to you. Personally, just it over. I like chaos. Okay. And let it, let the chocolate get away. Good deal. Now, this next part is optional, but it's kind of really elegant. It makes it super fancy. You won't actually get this store-bought upcover honeycomb, but all you gotta do, add some lake salt. Salt really adds something to dark chocolate. Same thing with caramel. Salted caramel, amazing. So we're gonna salt this just to finish. This is called flake salt. It's also really good on top of steak, just a tiny bit at the end. So it's well worth buying. We had a large container, I just put it in the smaller one once it got smaller. Alright, that's about it. If you guys want to watch the recipe from the start, please check out the replay, the VOD, the video. Today we made fried rice, we made roasted broccoli, we made these, and we made a dark and stormy cocktail. It was quite a fun time. Delicious. I enjoyed it. It's about time for me to eat that broccoli fried rice. I'll show you guys that munchies one more time. Here is first chocolate covered honeycomb. Looks delicious. And here is dinner. We've got fried rice, fried egg, roasted broccoli, and dipping sauce. Thanks for watching, y'all. If you want to catch me at the beginning of cooking, I'm going to be cooking tomorrow, probably around 4 p.m. Eastern, because I'm doing a special one tomorrow. But definitely hit follow, and then make sure you have notifications turned on so you can get an email whenever I start. Thanks for watching. Love y'all. Oh, I couldn't stop without showing you the egg yolk. I went over easy so the egg yolk would become part of the sauce. Oh my god. I'm ready to eat it. Have a good day, y'all.